Chapter 2. If it hurts, add points. If it doesn't hurt, add points freely. Bang! Lu Se's expression was still frozen in confusion, recalling the voice in his mind, but at this moment, the female doctor had already slapped him in anger. Lu Se only felt as if he had been hit by a flail, and immediately let out a muffled groan. Lu Se was then horrified to discover that the strength of this woman in front of him was surprisingly great, making it difficult for him to resist. Who? The female doctor panted heavily, her eyes burning with furious and perverse flames, looking at the man beneath her, who was like fish on a cutting board. The praised disobedience had ruined all her previous plans, and the wonderful feelings she had imagined. The script was not supposed to be written like this. Why are you fine? She gritted her teeth, her hands filled with terrifying strength, slowly pressed down on his body. Lu Se's pupils suddenly constricted. Feeling the strange sensation of his muscles tearing, he was horrified by the terrifying strength of the woman in front of him. This was definitely not the strength a normal human female should possess. He was still restrained at this moment. He was the fish on the cutting board. Not feeling pain didn't mean he wouldn't die. A thought flashed through his mind. Looking at the woman's fiery eyes, Lu Se understood. He had to humor her first. Ah! After a very fake scream, he twisted on the bed. It hurts! It hurts so much! I forgot just now. Ah! Female doctor. Her originally fiery eyes suddenly paused, and her expression instantly became blank. Is forgetting acceptable? You're in pain and you can still forget? You're quite thick-skinned. But looking at the pain Lu Se was feigning at this moment, her ferocious expression still eased a lot. She laughed in a cathartic way, and for a moment, she didn't care about much else, pressing the button on the instrument beside her once again. Red light burst forth. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +8. Initial gene lock, pending activation. Suffering value required, 19/100. The same voice echoed in Lu Se's mind once again. Lu Se understood that at this moment he should probably be feeling pain. Once again, cooperating with the voice in his mind, Lu Se's screaming performance continued. He even felt that his acting was a bit fake. He had never felt pain since he was a child, so performing like this was already his best effort. He could only temporarily follow the prompts of the suffering value in his mind, accumulate it to 100 first, and see if that initial gene lock could be of any use. Although Lu Se's voice was a bit fake, the doctor on his body at this moment was in a much better mood than before. She let out a long breath. The murderous intent on her face faded, and her previous seductive and perverse smile reappeared on her face. While continuing to press the instrument beside her, she adjusted her sitting posture on Lu Se. At the same time, the doctor's attire on her began to slip off, piece by piece. The remaining meager fabric was already struggling to fully cover her creamy skin. Looking at her posture, her expression and demeanor, and the sparingly used fabric, all the viewers in the live broadcast basically understood what was about to happen next. Holy crap, is this doctor that well endowed? I couldn't tell at all when she was wearing a lab coat. My apologies. My apologies. Just now she was cutting legs, now she's about to evolve into a sexual encounter. Wait, don't you guys really think this little brother's screams are a bit fake? This is purely acting, right? Some people in the bullet comments had already noticed something was wrong, and they all started to lose it. But the female doctor was in high spirits at the moment, and didn't notice anything amiss. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +8. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +9. Wave after wave of terrifying neural stimulation came. The pain that could completely destroy a person's spirit was completely ineffective on Lu Se. He could only continuously increase the suffering value and cooperate with her performance to accumulate points for himself. Ah, is this maximum power? Is there even more power? If you increase it further, I might die. Don't increase it anymore. Bro, your acting is too bad. To be honest, I'm a little embarrassed. Not even pretending anymore? If you ask me, the plot of domestic films is still not good enough. Brother upstairs, lend me a movie to talk about. The female doctor's perverse smile gradually stiffened on her face. Even with lust filling her brain, she still felt something was amiss. When she used to torture her prey, their uncontrollable muscles and neural reactions during their pain were her spiritual nourishment. But why did this man beneath her lack all of these? This was already the second time she had been interrupted from that feeling of lust. Kid, are you playing with me? Are you asking if I want to? Luce replied. Bang. With a loud bang, the fiery woman opposite slapped the machine. The machine glowed red, indicating that she had officially lost patience. You've angered me, little one. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you've ruined my fun. As she spoke, she reached under herself and pulled out a dagger. Wait, sister, can you first explain where you got that knife? Swish. White light flashed, the hand moved, the knife fell, and then red light appeared. While Lu Tse was still running his mouth, the doctor's scalpel had already pierced his chest. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +2. The suffering value was not high, proving that this stab was far less painful than the previous instrument. But this strike made Lu Tse's pupils instantly constrict. He didn't feel pain, but that didn't mean he couldn't die. I'm a little unwilling to play nicely with you anymore. The female doctor tossed her hair, adjusted her sitting posture, and even rubbed against Lu Tse's body. Spoke. The hand holding the knife began to move, like a paintbrush dipped in red paint, drawing on a canvas. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +2. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +1. I originally wanted to have a good time with you, but you made me very unhappy. So I suddenly thought, I'll cut it off, and then use it, to see if your expression will still be the same then. The seductive voice still echoed in his ears. Besides physical torture, it was more of a mental torment. And seeing Luce's expression gradually grow serious, the perverse female doctor's expression once again began to show triumph and pleasure. The suffering value slowly increased, but Luce knew that he was running out of time. Her other hand had already grabbed his pants. Who would have thought, the first time a woman pulled down his pants in his life, it would be because she wanted to castrate him. Crack! Suddenly, a dull, teeth-grinding sound echoed in the room, attracting the female doctor's attention. She lowered her head slightly, only to find a crimson sight before her. Lucy's fingernails were dug into the handcuffs, as if he wanted to use his own strength to snap the handcuffs. But clearly, what broke was not the handcuffs. Turning her head, she still saw Lucy's expressionless face. What are you doing? Having long been accustomed to various tortures, the female doctor, whose heart was already twisted, suddenly felt something was wrong. Lucy smiled. He had no pain sensation. All he cared about was the notification sound in his ear when his fingernails broke. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +4. Crack, crack. Several sounds rang out almost simultaneously. All the fingernails on Lucy's left hand were instantly torn off by himself. God chosen of suffering, suffering value +3. Gene lock, pending activation. Suffering value required, 101/100. Conditions met. Gene lock activated. Bang! A bolt of lightning flashed through Lucy's mind, like a large door slowly opening. At the same time, the steel handcuffs, which had been so firm they were unshakable, suddenly snapped.
Thanks Thanks for watching. Goodbye.